Y'all, it's teaser season in Wizard101. Today, we're gonna be reviewing not one, not two, but what looks like 3 actual clues as to what the new update's gonna be looking like in winter. If y'all don't know, the next big update to Wizard101 is not gonna be a continuation of the main storyline, but it is gonna be a big dungeon that you'll still need to do to progress in the future. And all we know so far is that it probably is gonna take place in Krokotopia, except this week they put out a lot of teasers about this update. We're not gonna dilly-dally. Keep in mind, a lot of this is probably going to be speculation, but let's look at the first teaser. This one literally just dropped yesterday on their Twitter, and I don't know, man. My mind, you can consider it boggled. Now, in this teaser, they basically have a picture. I don't know who this is, some kind of like chameleon, you know, chameleon dude. But the caption says, we can become anything, blend in with anything, and you'll never be able to tell us apart. Additionally, what I think is very relevant to look at is the fact that there's a moon symbol on this dude's belt. His color, you know, like scheme seems to be very like, you know, moon school oriented. Now, why would something like a moon chameleon in Krokotopia be big news, even if it's just a teaser? For that, all we have to do is look at a little bit of lore. Now, I have already done the side quest on the storm, but if you guys want to take a trip down memory lane, one of the biggest keys as to the lore as to how Krokotopia works comes from a side quest from Hetchal Dim. He's a purple mander, and the quest line basically, you know, starts with him being nervous at how some of the Marleybonians are looking at him because he's purple. And based on this side quest, right, not even a main quest, based on which part of Krokotopia these manders are from and which school that they really, you know, acclimate to, that's the school that they turn into. So if they hail from the Tomb of Storms area, they're storm salamanders, so they're purple. You know, if they're from the Pyramid of Fire, they tend to be red. What I think is gonna happen is we're gonna get a new area where, in my opinion, we're gonna see not manders but chameleons, and not see firestorm ice, but we're gonna see the astral schools. Now, obviously, this would be huge. Astral magic was introduced many years ago in Celestia. I feel like we haven't really seen them flesh out any of the schools really since then. But considering the caption of this teaser talks about blending in and, like, you know, you won't be able to tell them apart, maybe we'll get some new polymorphs. Now, how will these really affect gameplay? We don't know. These were scaled to level 60 and they still weren't really that good, but who knows? Maybe we'll get, like, you know, polymorphs that are scaled to level 170, which is over 100 levels later. Maybe we'll get some really cool moon spells for the first time in a while. Now, while moon spells, they have a lot of opportunity to make them fun. What I do think I'm even more excited about, if this is coming, there's no guarantee of this, but I'm gonna speculate. If they also add new sun spells, I would love for them to have a lot of fun with it. Why do I say that? Right now in PvP, all the spells are balanced around what they already do before an enchant is even added on, right? All of these enchants are no PvP now, and PvP is actually not so much worse for it, right? They have stat caps, they have all kinds of things that, like, you know, regulate damage and resist and all of that. And without needing enchants, your deck fell less. We're in a weird spot where they're adding enchants in a meta where PvP doesn't even, like, you know, require them. That means that they could actually have a lot of fun with it, in my opinion. Hopefully they can add stuff that they don't even need to worry about PvP and its effect on it. I would love if they could experiment with something more than just damage. Now, I don't really know what that would be. Maybe something like along the lines of like Elucidate, where you could start affecting stuff like pip cost. Maybe more stuff like Sharpen and Potent Trap, where, you know, maybe you enchant a trap and make it a double trap or something, or maybe make it more than 15% better. They even added enchants a very long time ago that, you know, were focused on delay casting, so that you could basically skip a turn and then do 2 things in 1 turn, a delayed cast. While we've seen all of that, I don't think we've really seen it at the level that we're at, like, you know, at level 170. I feel like they could add things and even create some really cool, like, you know, boss fights where you could use these enchants to time different things, to do different things with utilities that we haven't used yet. In my opinion, if they are gonna add anything that's gonna just make the game fun and chaotic without really affecting game balance, I think the Sun School is the place to do it, because it's impossible for it to affect PvP. Now, what I cannot actually understand what this teaser is about is the thing that they put out about a week ago before this chameleon teaser. They had the audacity talking about one of these things is not like the other, and they just posted a clip, and I genuinely don't know what I'm supposed to be looking at. What I do see are 3 vertical windmills and then a horizontal windmill. And I don't know if that means that we'll be visiting this area, which is Imperia for the future world, or if it means that there's some sort of, like, you know, extra meaning to this. This teaser is definitely about whatever's behind the rock. So I don't think it has as much to do with the whole polymorphing thing that they're teasing and the chameleon thing. Now, the other big piece of news that I have not seen anybody talking about, we're also going to be getting a ton of new spells with this update. According to the devs in the official Wizard101 Discord, this upcoming update is apparently unprecedented in terms of new spells. Now, keep in mind, every time they've done a Spellman update, every single school has gotten about 5 new spells, right? The rank 7 through 11s, the 1 through 6s. Those were pretty big, and I'm gonna assume that, yes, they're not new spells, but that is still a pretty, I would argue that was unprecedented. So in my mind, I can only think that they're gonna be adding a bunch of new astral spells simply off of the Moon Chameleon teaser, and they're gonna go in a lot of directions that affect a lot of schools. One thing that you guys might have already noticed, that's already confirmed, by the way, is that there are new auras coming. That does mean we'll probably see something that is an upgrade to like Galvanic Field and all the other, you know, Azteca auras. Maybe we'll see an upgrade to Frenzy, which is right now, I would argue, in any hitter's deck a staple for the 45 outgo. What I would really like to see is they play a little bit more with like the universal damage aspect of it. Maybe play a little bit more with mitigation so that, you know, because I feel like Brace is so boring in PvP. You just throw it on and it's like you're not allowed to get hit for like 4 rounds. It'd be cool if they did things that made dual schooling more, you know, viable, because like maybe you'd give up less if maybe there's an aura that gives you 30 damage to Storm and 30 damage to another school. So you're not really giving up the Storm part of yourself, but you could maybe open up a window to use another school during those 4 rounds. And as far as mitigation, what I really hope doesn't happen is that I hope they're not going to add more than 20% added to your resist for 4 rounds. I think it's just too far already. In terms of mitigation, maybe like a harmful aura they could put on your opponent. I feel like that would be a cool thing. Maybe they could use that aura in ways that, you know, mess up your move. We've only seen 1 harmful aura so far in PvP. This is just a Bunyip spell, but it does look like they're gonna go in this direction more. And that is very relevant because they've also started to add more spells that interact with auras for ice and death, like Thieving Dragon and Monster Mash, where they do damage and then clear your opponent's aura for secondary effects. While this is exciting, I do think it could open up the door for a whole lot of other balancing issues. And if y'all have not seen PvP in a while, it's actually getting really close to balance. I would still argue what I'm hoping they do is make it so that balance, the school of balance, has just as many options as every other school so that the meta feels a little bit more balanced in itself. I think that's the only problematic school left in terms of just the sheer number of oppressive options it has. And if they can do that with this aura update, I think it could be a really fun PvP update as well. So based on the teasers that we've had available to us and with varying levels of certainty, what I'm predicting is that there is going to be a side dungeon or side area in Krakatopia. I'm leaning heavily towards astral magic being the centerpiece of it, similar to how the elemental schools were really the driving force of Krakatopia. And there should be a lot of new spells that completely change how astral magic is used for the first time in like a decade. If that's not enough to be hype about, I don't know what could get you hype. I think this is going to be a really big update. I think all eyes are on King's Isle right now because they're changing things up this year. It's not just going to be a new world like usual. While that does open up a lot of options, I hope it's not a disappointing update in the sense that I hope we get a ton of content. That is what it's looking like if they're using words like unprecedented, so let's hope for the best, y'all. Let me know what you guys think of the Moon Chameleon teaser. I'd love what y'all think about the little rock propeller thing behind the rock teaser. Leave your opinions in the comments. Drop a like if you enjoy. Drop a sub if you're new. And if somebody hasn't told you you're awesome today, y'all, they doing something wrong. Stay awesome, y'all. See y'all soon. And yeah.